What's up, all my grinders out there? NC, and this is Mundane to Amazing, and I'm back with another content video, the first of 2022, and coincidentally for the channel. And I know I'm a bit late for the New Year's resolutions, but I'll be honest with you, it's been a really busy month. Been ducking Omicron, traveling, and just generally trying to get life in order and together to tackle the new year. But before I get to some of these New Year's resolutions, I want to take a moment to kind of give you guys a little bit of my background and kind of do that piecewise. And so what I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about my educational journey on my career path to becoming a research scientist. And so you might say, well, what does that look like? How did you get there? Well, okay. So the path looks like a lot of school, to be honest with you. I started my college journey at Morehouse College, where I majored in biology and chemistry, graduated Phi Beta Kappa and from the honors program, and was honestly just spent a lot of time in the library studying, and in the labs. But ultimately, a great experience. I definitely recommend the HBCU experience if you have the opportunity. Try it. You'll love it. It's one of those one-of-a-kind college experiences that you just can't get other places. But putting back my HBCU bias to the side, after I completed my journey at Morehouse College, I then moved down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Famous for Kevin Gates, Boosie, NBA Youngboy, these fine women.
Well, damn, if you can't go to Baton Rouge, where the hell could you go?
And ultimately, I went and attended Louisiana State University. There, I studied my PhD in chemistry, and I won a number of awards, including a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship, and published a number of papers, and again, was a top student in the department. And once again, was very successful along my path towards becoming a scientist. Upon completion of my PhD, I moved back to Atlanta, Georgia, and took a position at Georgia Tech, where I worked there in the chemistry department on applications in microfluidics and astrobiology, and garnered a NASA Graduate Research Fellowship, which is also a very prestigious award, and I was one of 5 awardees for the application year that I had applied. I was able to learn a lot there at Georgia Tech and spent about 3 years there doing a postdoc. And so about at this time, if you're considering the grad school plus postdoctoral educational portion, that was about 8 years, and then obviously 4 years of undergrad. So you're about 12 years before you even got to the real professional job state. Upon completing my postdoc, after about 3 years, about 6 months, I then moved into my first professional scientist position. And I've been doing that for about the last 2 years. And so you might say, wow, that is a really long journey and a lot of time in school. And you would be right. It was a lot of time. One of the cool things, though, is it's a unique experience. I mean, starting graduate school at like a 19K-ish salary and watching your salary go from about 19K to well above 6 figures, you can kind of see the actualization of your effort in real time. And so a lot of cases, if you were looking from the outside looking in, you would say, man, that is a real career success story. And you'd be right. But the one thing I will tell you about career success is, and the definition of it is relative. And I can definitely say that depending on who you are, depending on your ambitions, sometimes being successful at things is enough to continue doing them. But just because you are very successful at the things that you're doing does not mean that they are leading you towards your purpose. And for me, that was a catch-22. I've been very successful at doing things that are very challenging, But one of the hardest pills to swallow is when you kind of mastered skills and find yourself climbing to the mountaintop and arriving and not realizing that maybe somewhere along the line you've missed what your purpose was. And at that point, one of the most challenging things is to kind of think about leaving the mountaintop that you're on, going back down to the valley, and starting another journey and climbing the next mountain. And that's where I'm currently at in life. That's part of the reason that I started this channel and started to want to really track my progress towards climbing the next leg of the journey to actualize the goals and dreams that I think bring me closer to my purpose. And so with that little bit of career path introduction, I kind of wanted to leave you guys with a couple of my resolutions for 2022 that I'm working on. And those include, one, working on some different career aspects and making some shifts and changes in the way that I'm currently going about my career and my career goals. Number two, I want to say about 2020, late 2020, early 2021, I started really trying to get very serious about investing once I had gotten a little stable in my job and had started making more money than I had ever made before. And it just kind of became imperative to be very financially responsible. And so one of the things that I'm attempting to do currently is increase my investing acumen, bolster my skills, and just become a greater investor across the board. And so that's definitely a big goal for me this year. Another goal, of course, will be health related. If you're like me and like many people, during the pandemic, it was kind of hard to stay physically fit. I remember once upon a time I used to be in very, very good shape. I was looking around about 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, man, you are really not in the shape that you used to be. Getting kind of old, getting kind of flabby. Gotta do something about this. So, been in the gym, and one of the big things is getting back into peak physical fitness. And so I'm definitely looking forward to kind of tracking that journey and continuing on, getting back into peak shape. Looking to, want to look good this summer. I go to Miami, go to Puerto Rico, go to Thailand. You don't want to hit the beach and be flabby. So that is one of my goals for the year. Speaking of Thailand, my final goal for the year, and one that I've already started, is really getting back into travel. One of the things that I used to love doing before the pandemic started, and I've really missed over the last 2 years, is going out to see the world, seeing other cultures, seeing how different people live, tasting different types of cuisines, and really just broadening your horizon, because it can be very easy, especially if you're just a hard worker and you're somebody who, if you're going to work, you're going to work very hard at whatever the goal you're working towards is. So just put your head down and kind of get the blinders on. And unfortunately, as many of us know, if you're always running, always going, always focused on the one thing ahead of you, you can miss out on a lot of life and a lot of living. And one of the things I enjoyed the most about traveling the world and just seeing different destinations, experiencing different cultures and locations, is that it in and of itself was a bit of a respite from your everyday life and monotony. And it would allow you to kind of see the world in a more panoramic view and really take a step back and take stock of all the things that it is that are great about your life, as well as the things that are great about the world and humanity at large. And I think those moments of downtime, those moments of just seeing through a different perspective or a different lens, are truly some of the most healthy moments for just mental philosophy and just the way that you approach living your life. And so I'm really looking forward to getting back to that. Really looking forward to being able to try some of these new photography techniques that I've been picking up a hobby on, and just trying to capture some of these experiences. And we'll definitely look forward to sharing some of that. Invest in yourself, invest in your health, invest in your wealth, and invest in your education. And I will leave you with the quote. If you don't take a chance, you don't have a chance. You're making a plan to lose. Scholar, Kevin Gates.